Welcome into another edition of Real Recognizes Real, where I am your host, College Cottrell. And this is going to be our last episode of the season. And I felt like it was only fitting for us to have the player who I think is the most generational talent, can't miss prospect in this year's draft class. And that's Travis Hunter of the Colorado Buffaloes. Now, just to kind of give you guys a little heads up about how this episode will go today. So, we only have two games, but with Travis Hunter playing both sides of the football, I did want to cover some plays from his offensive side and his defensive side here. So it's almost like we're breaking down four different games here because we're breaking down two games on offense and two games on defense there. So just wanted to give a little heads up there. But really, outside of that, everything else will run pretty much status quo. So let's go ahead, get right into it with the pros and cons. And I did split these pros and cons up with receiver pros and cons, and then a comparison with the receiver, and then DB pros and cons to comparison to the DB. So, like I said, let's go ahead and get right on into it. I think I started here with the receiver side. And the one thing you notice right away, just looking at the film with Travis Hunter, is his catch radius. So, Travis is a guy, if you put the ball anywhere in his vicinity, he's going to have a shot to bring it in. I mean, it feels like he catches every ball that gets thrown his way. And you have to love that, especially from a smaller guy, to be able to go and make plays on the football like that. The next thing I really liked about his game, from the receiver standpoint, is the his ability to create space. So, obviously route running is a big part of that, but I also think just understanding the nuances of the game is also a part of it as well. So you can be a great route runner, and if a team is defending you in zone coverage, it's important to know where you can sit at in the zone, or if a play gets off script and quarterbacks are scrambling, and understanding the scramble drill and just understanding that, hey, this quarterback needs to get the ball out. I need to make myself available as much as possible. So I just think as a whole, it's not just his route running, but just his ability to create space and give his quarterback a window to get him the ball there. He is superb at that. And then the last thing I have here is a word that I kind of made up, but I have him as a yactician. So for me, it feels like when you put the ball in his hands, if right there, right then and there, it looks like, all right, this is going to be a 5 yard gain. Travis Hunter finds a way to make that an 11-yard play. Or if it looks like a 20-yard gain, he finds a way to make that a touchdown. He is absolutely electric with the ball in his hands, and that is a great aspect to have. From a guy like Travis Hunter, just because at any given point he can break the big one and really put your team in a good position to either put points up on the board, or he's going to go ahead and score it himself there by taking it all the way to the end zone. Now, moving over to the con side of things here, I have that, even with that Superman kind of ability there to, crib potentially a 10 yard dig or something like that. Sometimes it feels like he's hunting the big play too often. And so I put here, sometimes it's okay to just be Clark Kent. Every play you don't have to be Superman. Sometimes it's all right to be Clark Kent. Get your little 10 yard play here or 8 yard play there and kind of call it a day. Or on the flip side of that, if it's a negative play, don't make bad plays worse. So do think he will need to find a way to get better at that. Second thing I have here is blocking. So of course, when you have a premier receiver, you're not going to be necessarily worried about the blocking there, nor are you going to say, hey, we need you to block and be elite at blocking. But with that said, he's not an awful blocker, but to me, just with the amount of snaps that he plays, it feels like he naturally uses situations where he knows he's going to be blocking as a chance to catch a breather. And I will say, it could be smart for him. If you're backside of a play, the play is not going anywhere near you. Kind of just take that play off there. But that was something that I saw on film there, and I think other teams will pick up on that as well. And then the other thing that I have here is one that's a pretty basic concern there. He hasn't had any issues with it yet, but I think at the NFL level could potentially pose some problems, and that's his stature. Travis Hunter wasn't a guy that really went into the slot a lot at Colorado, so he's primarily going to be an outside receiver. And with him having that smaller frame and not having that much weight on him, I'm just curious to see how he's going to respond at the NFL level to cornerbacks that play on the outside that have a ton of physicality and are really going to get up in his grill. But with that said, here, I wanted to go into my player comp here, and it's a little weird because you have a guy that played some slot at the NFL level, but I'm going with Odell Beckham Jr. here. A lot of it is one, the catch radius. Obviously, Odell had the crazy catch radius. coming out there and, just looking at their frames and things like that, I think they're very similar. Travis ultimately didn't end up running a 40 time, but I think he's probably a 4.43 or maybe a low 4.4 speed kind of guy there. And, just what he's able to do after he gets the ball in his hands, it reminds me so much of Odell Beckham there. But moving on to the defensive side of the ball here, just getting into some of those pros and cons. When it comes to man coverage, Travis Hunter is as sticky as they get. He's able to shadow receivers at such a crazy, insane pace, and the fact that he's doing this after playing both ways and things like that is very impressive to me. Which is why I think he's going to ultimately turn out to be a better corner than receiver. But that's not taking away anything from him at the receiver position. I think he has all pro cornerback potential, and I think he has Pro Bowl caliber receiver potential. Second thing I wanted to hit on here as well, just like with the receiver side, he has a high IQ on the defensive side as well. He understands tendencies and route concepts. So when you have Travis Hunter in zone coverage and he gets to sit back and read the quarterback's eyes or really just watch as certain plays develop, he has the ability to take the ball away. And you're going to see it in some of the clips here from the games that we cover there. But he has the ability to jump certain routes and things like that. And just if you look at all of his interceptions in college, it's either him making crazy plays in the football or him in zone coverage, breaking off of an assignment and taking the ball away there. And then the last thing I have here is, his tackling. As a cornerback, especially as a slender quarterback, you're not expecting them to go out and just want to tackle and things like that. But for Travis Hunter, he's more than a willing tackler. And when he does come downhill, he definitely has his pads behind him. So I think you're not going to necessarily worry if you're in a cover two or things like that. And his responsibility is to go take out the flat, take out the player in the flat, or, just in general, make a tackle there because he definitely can do that. Now, just a little bit on the con side. As great as he is in man coverage, I did see a little bit of a drop off when he wasn't in press man and he didn't have the ability to put hands on. I'd say off man coverage is not really a strength of his. You didn't see it a ton while he was at Colorado. If he wasn't, if he was off, a lot of the times he was in zone or he kind of got away with it. If he was an off man against receivers who aren't, quite as talented to create that space there. But I do think that at the NFL level, he's going to have to find a way to either get better at being an off man or convince his coaching staff that, being impressed is his better attributes there. And then the last thing, again, just like the receiver side, the stature, the physicality there, just with him being a smaller DB, I noticed on film that sometimes in bigger against bigger receivers, he can get bullied a little bit in the run game if if they're blocking him or in the 50-50 ball scenarios. A couple games that came to mind for me was the Stanford game of 2023 that a lot of people saw. It was on ESPN. Stanford came back big time in that one. I thought that was one of Travis Hunter's worst games there. Not necessarily one that we're going to go over today, but just, again, NFL caliber receiver, bigger body. Just something I kind of worry about. But you didn't see that. It wasn't a trend or anything like that. But just something I definitely wanted to put out there for you guys. And then my comp for him on the defensive side of the ball, another Brown. In the receiver case, it was former Brown, Odell Beckham Jr. In this case, I have current Brown, Denzel Ward. And the biggest reason for this for me is, again, similar frames there. I think they have similar athletic abilities as well. But Denzel is a smaller corner that can play outside. And even against, some of those bigger receivers and things like that, he's not afraid to try and get physical with them. Guy that's sticky in man coverage, has good ball skills. And, I think the comparisons are pretty parallel there. And I think for Travis Hunter, Denzel Ward is a guy who hasn't been an all pro at this point. I feel like he's been snubbed a couple times, but that would be somebody who I would want to model my game after on the defensive side of the ball, just because I think there's so many similar traits there. But that is it for the player comps. We're going to go ahead and get right into the film here. And so, like I said before, we only got two games that we're going to go over, but we're going to go over the offense and defensive side of the ball here. So we'll start off with offense for Travis Hunter against UCF. And so, first play that I have listed here is just showing off some of the catch radius from him. So you'll see him at the top of the screen there with the arrow pointed at him. And so slant route, Shedeur gets the ball to him. It is a little high, but again, no issue for Travis Hunter to snag out the air there. So again, slant gets up high on him. He snags it, no problem. First down, and Travis Hunter moves the sticks there. So we'll go ahead and go to the second play from this game here, showing off Travis creating some space here. It's going to be at the 327 mark in this one. So you'll see it down here again. Travis top of the screen, and let's see what he's able to do. So again, man to man, nothing crazy. The receiver gives him the inside leverage there, but Travis takes full advantage of that. I'm going to see it again from the sky cam here, but he gives him the inside leverage, and Travis takes advantage of that clear window, even with the safety rolling over, gives Shedeur a clean enough window to get him the ball there, and obviously you see he scores a touchdown. So I want to move on now to 424 here, where he's showing off his ability after the catch. So again, you see Travis Hunter a lot of times here, like I said, during the comparisons and the pros and cons for him, he doesn't really line up in the slot too often here. So you see him lined up top of the screen out there. And so he gets this. It's just really a little hitch route, and something that should have been a 4-yard play turns into ultimately a first down here. So we'll see it again here. Boom. So right here, this is literally 3 yards off of the line of scrimmage. And I mean, if this corner breaks down, makes a tackle there, it's a 3-yard gain, and they're still looking at about 8 yards to go. But Travis Hunter is just special with the ball in his hands, and just a little slight move, gets upfield, makes a missed tackle, picks up the first down, and moves the sticks for that Colorado Buffalo team. Now we will go to the last offensive play in this game. We will go to the 11-17 mark. All right. Pick it up right here. And this is another play where he's showing off his ability to create space and create that window for his quarterback. So see here, play starting to break down, and Travis is just moving. You see him consistently moving, comes back to the ball, makes a great catch. He shows off the catch radius as well, and then also shows off his ability after the catch there. So I want to see it again. You don't really get a great look at it from the end zone view. So I do want to, and this isn't the play, but we're getting back to it here. But I did want to see it again from the bird's eye cam here. So you see here, it's kind of a slow developing play. Everybody's going downfield, but Travis recognizes that the line is starting to break down, and Shedeur is starting to see some pressure. You see, he's looking back to his quarterback, trying to figure out how he can make himself available. So instead of just drifting, he goes out. He sees, there is an open pocket here. A lot of people like to come back to the football. They have that relationship with each other, Shedeur and Travis, where he's like, I'm just going to go to the open spot because I know my quarterback can make those throws there. So he creates a 5 yards of separation here. Shedeur gets the ball out to him. And again, Shedeur knows if I can just put the ball in the vicinity, Travis Hunter is going to go up and go get that football. So he does just that. Travis makes an incredible play on the ball. And again, just with Travis Hunter's ability after the catch, you see here, he's at the 44. Let's see where this play ends up. And he has 2 defenders right in front of him. So 44, 2 juke moves. He gets all the way to the 30. He gets 14 additional yards just by understanding what defenders are going to try to do to get him to the ground, and just unbelievable yard after catch ability there. But that is going to be it for that offensive portion of that game. We're going to go ahead and move on over to the defensive side of the ball, and this is the exact same game. So obviously, all of that's been incredible to see so far, but again, he's also taking care of business on the defensive side of the ball at the exact same time. So we will start here. I believe this is going to be a man-to-man. man-to-man clip here. So you see him on top of the screen, lined up outside there, and man-to-man coverage down the sideline. They test them. They test them. This is a big receiver too from UCF, and obviously came up incomplete there. But look at it here from the end zone view, and let's see if I can pause it. Yeah, I didn't pause it in time there, but you see he goes right up top with him. Again, this is a receiver. This is one-on-one. There is no help over there. I mean, that is one, the quarterback really doesn't have a window to fit this ball in there. He's really just trying to test the best player in college football at this point. But Travis is able to get his head around, makes the play on the football. Doesn't take this one away, but I mean he's damn close. And a lot of times Travis is going to take that ball away there. That's great work from him. Moving on in this one, we're going to go pretty late in this game here. Go to the 21:02 marker. See, he showed you what he can do in man, but let's see what he can do in zone. Yeah, boom, there we go. All right, so you see him top of the screen here. This is going to be some zone coverage. So he has the cloud, but with his ability, he can read plays. He sees the defender coming out to the flat there, and he absolutely jumps it. So again, I'd imagine this is some sort of cover two where you only defend the flat when there's a threat there. So he goes out. He feels like he's just carrying this receiver out here. He sees that there is somebody in the flat there. As soon as he sees that, he's like, "Hey, this is my responsibility, and I'm hauling ass to get downfield and make a play on this football." This is 7 yard separation. The quarterback's already in motion of throwing to the flat here. He gets and gains 7 yards of gap space there, gets the interception. That is an incredible play, and there aren't many that can make plays like that. Maybe a PBU, but taking that ball away in that instance and just recognizing everything so quickly, it's absolutely insane from Travis here. Absolutely great play. He runs down, and what you guys don't see is he gives you a little Heisman pulse here, kind of foreshadowing how his season would end there. But we're going to go to a play where I think he's not, well, one of the plays where he's playing some off man, and in my opinion, it doesn't go as well as he would hope. Um, so see here, off man, um, and no hands on, gives the receiver inside release there, doesn't make the tackle, and it turns into a big play there. I just think for Travis, when he's in man coverage, and you don't really see it from the end zone view there, but when he's in man coverage, it is imperative for him to be able to put hands on because it does disrupt receiver timing there. But also, I mean, in this case, he let it go where thought his back pedal was also a little bit lazy here, but he gave the receiver an option where he could have went anywhere. I mean, this could have been a comeback route, and Travis gave him leverage for that. He gave him inside leverage as well here, open up the big window. You can just tell his timing and everything with his technique gets thrown off when he's not playing press man coverage, when he's in man coverage at that. So again, I thought there was a couple things here. The missed tackle and not being physical with the receiver there ultimately is what led to this big play. But we just got one more in this game here, and that is at the 23:56 mark. So we're just moving up about a minute here in this one. Game's pretty much out of hand at this point. It's 41-21. You'll see Travis press bottom of the screen there. And it is a run play. Well, RPO. And he comes downhill. This is kind of what I was talking about. This is a guy that brings his pads when he's attacking downfield here. So RPO, they throw it to him in the flat. It's one-on-one. Travis Hunter chops this receiver down in the flat. No doubt about it. Wasn't going anywhere. Great form from him. A lot of corners don't want to make plays like that. So the fact that Travis is a superstar and he's perfectly fine with going downhill and doing that, that's definitely what you like to see. But that is it from that game. Now we're going to go on over to his last regular season game of his career in college, and that is a game against Oklahoma State. And we are going to start that one in the on the offensive side of the football. And yep, you'll see Travis lined up down there. And what's the first play going to be focused on? First play, we're going to see one of those plays where I kind of mentioned beforehand that Travis likes to be Superman. And I think a lot of times he is Superman. But this is one of those plays where I think he does a little bit too much here. So you'll see the play. It's a double reverse. Looks like it's supposed to be a pass here. At this point, throw the ball away. Instead, Travis reverses field, tries to stiff arm the defender there. And, this turns into be a huge, huge loss on the play there. So you can see it here from the end zone view here. Looks like it's supposed to be a double reverse pass. And at this point right there, hey, nothing's here. I go out of bounds. I slide down. I throw the ball away. I mean, you have so many options. At no point should you ever think about reversing field here because especially at the NFL level, you're not going to be able to reverse field. They have guys in the defensive line that are, 6'5", 250 pounds that can run a 4.4. Even in the case of I'm thinking about the Philadelphia Eagles here, you got Nolan Smith that's on that line and he runs a 4.3. Reversing field is never going to be the answer at the next level there. And as great as you are with the ball in your hands, you gotta know when to hold them and know when to fold them. So I think Travis, poor job here. But I do think, that's something that he can work on. And I do think at the next level, they'll make sure that they make him understand that, hey, not every play has to be the home run. But we are going to move on to the second play where he's starting to create some space in this one at 8:14. All right, perfect. All right. So they're in the red zone. You see Travis at the top of the screen there. It looks like, and I don't have it charted here, but it looks like they're probably in man coverage, but we'll see after the play snaps. Yep, definitely man coverage. Runs the slant, gives Shedeur plenty of a window to take care of business there, and easy pitch and catch touchdown. You give Travis Hunter that much space off man, and he's going to kill you every single time. I mean, there was that DB didn't have a chance to stop that play. So great work there from Travis Hunter. Hits the little Dion shuffle there as a celebration, and Colorado is starting to break this one open. But we're going to move on to the 24:35 marker, so pretty late in this one. 24:35, boom, boom. All right, so third quarter, Colorado's up big in this one. Similar situation as what we just saw. Looks like they're in off man and they're in the red zone, and you got Travis Hunter on top of the screen there. Um, so just a smart play. Again, just ability to create some space in that. I mean, look at the window there. So Shedeur, it's good protection right away. Um, and I'd say right now, Travis Hunter is bracketed. So and this probably isn't a man cover situation, probably his own, just how everybody's looking here. Although he looks like he's manned up there. I don't know. A lot of confusion here. Oklahoma State's defense is confusing me, even me, watching it on film here. But right now, Travis isn't open. And so he sees Shedeur is rolling out this way. A lot of times, people will probably go this way and try to roll with the quarterback. But Travis is a savant and understands the nuances of the game. He says, I'm just going to wherever the open field is. So I give him a little fake as if I'm going outside because that's what everybody would normally do in this situation because the quarterback is rolling that way. But Travis says, I give you the little fake. I open up this way. This gives Shedeur a clean window to get me the football here. And that's exactly what he does. We get the touchdown. and I get to dance a little bit more in the end zone here. So great stuff from Travis on that play. Now we're gonna go to 32-29. We just got a couple more plays offensively here for Travis. So 32-29. Perfect. All right. So you see him on top of the screen there, and I got this listed as catch radius. So let's take a look, see what happens on this one. All right. So he's coming across. Looks like it's a deep over. That's a tough throw to make. Shedeur put the ball on the absolute money there, but the defender is draped all over Travis. But one on one, Travis Hunter, I mean, I like Travis's chances damn near every time. So again, deep over route. The ball is absolutely on the money. I mean, that's a perfect ball from Shedeur. I'm glad that guy is my future quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. But again, let's take a look at it from the end zone view here. And I mean, I think this is trust, but this is also knowing that your guy is better. Again, this Travis has a step on him. Don't get me wrong. On the run, and this defender is close. On the run, you put that throw on the money. Travis locates the ball, puts his hands up late so the defender can't just, blindly throw the hands up and try and shoot through Travis's hands there. And Travis makes a great play on the ball, gets it down, and that's a big time play for that Colorado offense. Now we will move on here to the last highlight from Travis in this game here. Go 33-44 here. So not this play. It's going to be the next one here, right after this one. All right, so right outside of the red zone, and you see Travis Hunter lined up on the outside there. Looks like they're in a zone, but Travis is one-on-one with the corner, makes an incredible play on the football there. I mean, his ability to track the football is really next level. So you'll see it here from the end zone view as well. I think the end zone view does a little bit more justice because you get more angle on it. I mean, this corner is draped all over Travis, and Travis is just already falling. But his ability to track the football is just so great that he still brings it in. And that is another touchdown for Travis Hunter. And that is the hat trick in this one. And that's the game that ultimately sealed his Heisman hopes there, and what made him bring home the hardware. Now we will just go over to the defensive side of the ball here, and then we will be all wrapped up with the Travis Hunter film and all done here for the season. All right, so we got that. All right, first play in this one. Now I know I said he doesn't play much slot on offense, but Travis Hunter is a guy that no matter where your number one receiver is lined up, he will go follow him if he needs to. So you'll see here he's lined up in the slot here, bottom of the screen of this bunch formation here. Just how they're lined up, they're in man coverage. Well, you think they're in man coverage, I should say, just based on how I line up here. And what it does, so they're not. Clearly, I see that because this corner allows too much of a free release for it to be man. I'd imagine he's supposed to be um, in the flat here and just carrying as much as possible. But we're not focused on him. We're focused on what Travis Hunter's doing. And again, reading the quarterback's eyes, bad decision on the quarterback, first off. But reading the quarterback's eyes, seeing the balls coming his way, I mean, this is probably the easiest interception of Travis Hunter's entire career. But we'll see again here from the end zone view, just Travis's ability to locate the football and take it away there. Again, very easy interception for him, but I think that just speaks to what Travis Hunter can do and his understanding of the game. Sometimes it is luck being in the right place at the right time, but for Travis Hunter, these kinds of plays happen too often for it to always just be considered luck, in my opinion. Well, we'll move on though to 226. I'm going to show you one of the cons here from Travis in this game. All right, so we have play where I think Travis gets bullied a little bit here. So you'll see here, Travis is down at the bottom of the screen. This is Travis outside corner here. Clearly a screenplay. Quarterback gets it out of his hands quickly for the receiver screen, and Travis is hemmed up by this tight end or receiver blocking him. I mean, there is nowhere for him to go. He's trying to escape it. He's getting bullied there. And, chunk play there. Travis is not able to even get in on the play at all. And I think that's going to be some of the stuff you run into sometimes with it. And I think teams can start to attack that just because it is out there on film. So, again, absolutely manhandled on this play on the receiver screen and doesn't have an ability to get into the play. Something that he needs to work on. I think teams can, well, the Jaguars are going to have the ability to do a good job of trying to hide that, but something that just shows up from time to time. So, something I wanted to point out for you. Now we are going to move on to him showing off a little bit more of the man-to-man skills. Go to 741. This one, so again, they're in this weird stack formation there, and Travis is lined up one-on-one, no help. That's also one thing I loved about seeing Travis play on this Colorado team is that oftentimes they said, "Hey, we're gonna have our safety, whether it be Shiloh or our other safety, we're gonna have them rotate towards the other side of the field because Travis is pretty much locked down. You can put him on an island and be perfectly fine." So you see it here, gives a double move. Travis essentially runs the route for him and almost takes the ball away. You see he's pounding the ground there because he knows that he should have took this. He should have took this football away. But again, play action. Travis is stride for stride with the receiver, basically runs the route for him, and it is an incompletion here. Now you see the receiver have the ball pop up in his hands there afterwards, but that is an incompletion there. And again, just seeing it from the end zone view here, the play action play, runs the dig across the field. Travis is already stride for stride with him. Like it doesn't get much better than this. And Travis is killing himself because he knows that he normally takes the ball away in those situations there. But great work from Travis on that play. Now we just got a couple more plays in this one before we are all wrapped up here. And I want to show you a little bit more man coverage from Travis Hunter. Go to the 1301 mark. Nope, a little too far. Perfect. All right. So let's see where he's lined up on this play. Outside, bottom of the screen here. Let's take a look. Boom, hands on. I love that. Runs the route for him. And again, you get the hands on and then you get underneath the receiver. Travis normally makes these plays to get the ball back for his team. But another dropped interception. Receiver did have a little bit of a stumble there, but I think it's in large part because of Travis Hunter's ability to get his hands on and make him uncomfortable there when he was trying to make that end breaking route here. So let's just take a look at it here one more time. Bottom of the screen, right there, and right at the 5-yard mark, which I think is beautiful. You're not playing necessarily press man. You don't get hands on right away, but you get the little bit of the reroute, makes the receiver uncomfortable, disrupts the time between the quarterback, and the ball literally gets put in your lap. I mean, that's teach tape stuff from Travis there. And again, I know he's killing himself for not taking that ball away there, but that is phenomenal work there. Now, normally I don't like to end on a bad play from the player, but in this one, because Travis Hunter really doesn't have that many bad plays, it just so happened that this is going to be the last one here. And it's, another play where I felt like he kind of got bullied on the play. So we'll go to the 15:56 mark. And let's take a look here. Cool. So this is going to be it. So top of the screen there. And this receiver is, I looked it up afterwards. This receiver is 6'4". Now I believe Colorado actually jumps off sides here. And so it is a free play for Oklahoma State. So I don't know if they normally would throw this knowing that Travis is over there, but nonetheless, it happens. They jump off sides. No contact on him. Goes right over top and gets his feet down, makes the play. Big time play for sure. think you see it better from the end zone view here though. So you Colorado to jump one on one. Normally you like Travis Hunter's chances, but against the big body receivers there, I also think not being able to put any hands on him at all here, you don't get that ability to disrupt that timing. And now you get a jump ball with 6'4" guy on Travis Hunter, who's 6 foot. He's got 4 inches on him. And this at this point here, just boxed him out. Looked like he was went up for a rebound. Boxed him out, got to the top of the catch point there, brought the ball down, got 1 foot in, and this ended up being a big play for Oklahoma State. But that is it this week for Travis Hunter. And again, I know draft's done at this point. He's going to Jacksonville. I think he's going to do big things there. I do think if they really value what they traded and what they gave up to go get Travis Hunter, I do think they will play him both ways, and they'll play him both ways often. I originally was of the mindset that I thought he was the guy that can play cornerback for the entire game and maybe come in for 10 to 15 plays on offense, but now I'm really starting to think and really believe that Travis Hunter can be a full-time two-way athlete. I'm not saying every single series on offense he plays, but I do think there should be more often times than not where Travis Hunter has a ton of snaps on both offense and defense. He's that special. Give him the opportunity to do it. And if you believe that he was worth giving up your first this year, well, swapping with Cleveland, giving up a second this year, and then giving up an additional first, that means you think he's a generational talent. So let him try and be that. But that is it for this week's edition and really this season's editions of Real Recognizes Real. I appreciate you guys tuning in and sticking with me throughout the entire season. I do want to get more content and stuff like that up. While it won't be necessarily full breakdowns and things like that of college players, since we are done with this season here, but still, please give me guys that you want me to look through. Maybe I'll start working on the 2026 class a little bit earlier this year, so we get a few additional episodes for next year and things like that. But again, I appreciate you guys following me along the journey, and can't wait to do it all again this time next year. But I'll see you guys on the network, and hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.